So today is the day 8 of 30 days of food photography breakdowns. My name is Prathamesh and I'm a food photography coach. In this series, we are just trying to simplify food photography by trying to break down what are its components things, right? So here we have the picture that I've taken from Pinterest. We'll quickly dive right into it and understand where is the light coming from, what are the props that they have used, how can you do it the same way, what's the color combination and all of that good stuff, right? So if you look at this picture, and whenever I try to break down any food photo, I just look at the lightings, highlights or shadows, right? So by looking at the highlights or the shadows, I can exactly know what is the type of light that they have used for shooting this picture, right? So if you just take anything in this food photo, I am just taking this particular prop which has sesame seeds. So when I look at the bowl, the mini bowl of the sesame seeds, I can see a shadow that is being formed over here. Let me just quickly change the color. Right. So if you can see, this is the shadow of this sesame bowl. Right. So I can comfortably see, and definitely there is no clear outline on the shadow. So that means it's a soft light. So I can see this is a soft light, and because of the shadow's length, I can safely assume that this food photo lighting was somewhere over at this particular area, right? So if I draw a light over here, right, so this is the light, right? It can be a ring light, it can be any other light as well. It's a soft light. Maybe it's a Godox video light with a Octa softbox. That's what I recommend to all of my students as well. So you can see if this is the light and this is the table. It's a little skewed in my drawing, but pardon that drawing, right? So if you have the dish like this lighting is hitting the subject in this angle. That's why if you are able to see, we have the soft light and the angle is over here, right? So lighting angle, after lighting angle, let's quickly dive right in and try to understand what is the angle of shooting, right? So if the lighting is like this person have shot it in a 45-degree angle, right? So if you can see, this is the side view of wherever you are shooting. So if I can show you from a different perspective of the same setup, my camera would be over here, this would be the shooting angle, and here is the dish, and maybe from the left side or the right side of the camera, here particularly we have the light on the left side of the whole setup, right? And this is the camera's view from this particular area, right? So we have 45 degrees for the lighting angle as well as the shooting angle, but you have to understand that lighting is coming from the left and the camera is shooting from the front, right? Camera is always at the front, right? So if you are able to look at me, you are seeing me from the front, not from other sides, right? Camera is always at the front whenever you are drawing for point of references, right? So that being aside, after figuring out the lighting angle, the shooting angle, try to understand what is this whole dish all about, right? So I can see, maybe I'm not a culinary expert, but I think it looks like hummus, right? So it might be hummus. There is some fish as well, and there are some leaves and sesame and black pepper and lemon, right? So the photographer is trying to showcase the recipe of this food dish, which is hummus with fish, right? And they have used the food ingredients to tell the story in a unique manner. So if you take the leaves, the sesame, the black pepper, the lemon, and we have some props which are the ceramic gray plate, quarter plate. You have antique looking fork and spoon crockery set, and you have the antique textured wooden board, right? So you have these chopping boards, you have these platters that you can use for layering the food subjects, right? So if you have the food subject in a neutral color ceramic plate, you can keep the wooden board on like below it, right? So, and of course the backdrop over here, let's try to decode the backdrop as well. It's a no brainer, it's a wooden backdrop, right? So it's a wooden backdrop which you can see over here. It has some blue green tinges onto it. This wooden backdrop is not truly just brown color and has brown tarnish, it has some blue green. If I can see and zoom in, right, the light reflections are giving away that vibe, right? I may be wrong over here, but I can see that it has some bluishness into it, right? So apart from that, one more tip that I want to give you is, if you have olden props, do not shy away from using them, because even if it's used, it has a lot of texture, it has a lot of story behind it, right? So when you have something with a lot of textures in your food photography, it gives a nice story to the image, right? It adds some depth and it adds some emotion, that this particular, the food prop or the board or the plate or anything is used, it's in use, right? It's not used, it's in use. That's a better way to put it, right? So whenever you have olden props which has some like wear and tear, it's always good for food photography. Please remember that. Apart from that, let me just see if I can see anything else. Right. So lighting angle is covered, shooting angle is covered, all of the storytelling elements, which are the food ingredients as well, we have covered that. And the beauty about food photography, the trend that's been growing, right? What I can see, I see a lot of food bloggers who are expert at recipe creation. I am not one of them. I'm just decent at shooting better photos and videos. But there are a lot of people who are great at cooking dishes, showcasing the recipes. My students being a lot of them, right? So they are bloggers, they are into this business, and they like, it's just so fun looking at food when they know the basics of food photography and videography, right? So even if you want to get better at food photography, I have a 7-day challenge. It's not a course, it's a challenge. That means you have to watch some videos, you have to look at those videos, and you have to do the shoot, and you have to take my review for it. If you are interested, go check the description in the first line. It's the 7-day food photography challenge, and hope you found this food photography breakdown useful. I'm going to be here tomorrow for the day 9 out of 30 for the 30 days of food photography breakdowns. See you.